Imagine for a moment a whisper echoing across millennia, a ripple from a single desperate clash that shaped the very bedrock of Western civilization. On a sun-baked plain called Marathon, two worlds collided. A colossal empire, a force of nature, against a fledgling idea, the radical, fragile dream of self-governance. The dust that settled wasn't just dirt. It was the ashes of an old order, giving birth to a legend so potent, so deeply etched into our collective memory, that it literally defines an entire sport, a global test of human endurance in our modern age. But what truly happened that autumn of 490 BCE, when a nascent democracy dared to stand against the might of an ancient titan? And what incredible truth, or perhaps what beautiful, necessary lie, did that legend truly exact from history? Cast your mind back. The world was a canvas of sprawling empires, none more vast, more formidable than Persia. It wasn't just a kingdom, it was a juggernaut, a geopolitical black hole, absorbing everything in its path, stretching from the sun-drenched shores of the Mediterranean to the distant Indus River. Its armies, an endless tide, seemed invincible. And now this colossal power had turned its gaze, like a predator spotting its prey, towards a collection of small, fiercely independent city-states nestled on the shores of the Aegean. Greece. This wasn't some minor border skirmish, a mere flexing of imperial muscle. No, this was an existential threat. The first Persian invasion was not just about land. It was about crushing the very idea of liberty, of people choosing their own destiny, before it could take root and spread like a dangerous contagion. Against this monolithic, terrifying force stood the citizen soldiers of Athens, bolstered by their steadfast allies from Plataea. They were outnumbered, perhaps by factors of 5 or 10 to 1, a tiny fleet of rowboats against storm-tossed armada. They were outmatched in sheer military might, in resources, in imperial experience, but they held something invisible, something unquantifiable, a fiercely burning will to defend their homes, their freedom, their nascent way of life. It was a will forged in the crucible of their unique democracy, a concept so radical it was almost alien to the rest of the ancient world. And then the moment arrived. On the plain of Marathon, a place that would forever echo with the sound of destiny, these two irreconcilable forces met. Imagine the scene. The relentless, disciplined advance of the Athenian phalanx, a bristling wall of bronze shields and iron-tipped spears moving like a single unbreakable organism. Against them, the sheer, overwhelming wave of Persian archers and cavalry, their wicker shields clattering, their guttural cries a deafening roar. It was a maelstrom of metal and muscle, a brutal, bloody dance where every inch of ground was contested, every life a desperate gamble. The air thick with dust, sweat, and the primal scent of battle. For hours, the fate of the world hung in the balance. But when the dust finally settled, when the last Persian soldier turned to flee, something truly astonishing, a genuine miracle had occurred. Against all odds, the Athenians, with the brave Plataeans fighting shoulder to shoulder, had delivered a stunning, decisive victory against the seemingly invincible Persian invaders. The immediate danger was averted. The Persian tide, for now, had been momentarily stemmed, crashing against an unexpected shore. But how do you tell a city, a people holding their breath, waiting, praying, for news that could mean either salvation or utter annihilation. This is precisely where the hard lines of history begin to soften, blurring into the shimmering, irresistible veil of myth. The legend, the one that has captivated human hearts for centuries and literally given birth to a global phenomenon, tells of a lone Greek herald. Picture him, battered, perhaps bleeding, the adrenaline of battle still coursing through his veins like a wild river. His name, etched into eternity, was Pheidippides. He was tasked with the most urgent, the most vital mission imaginable, to run the approximately 40 kilometers, that's about 25 miles, from the blood-soaked field of Marathon back to the anxious heart of Athens. He ran, not just with his legs, but with the fate of his city, his people, the very idea of freedom, riding on every single stride. His lungs burning like furnaces, his legs screaming in protest with every punishing step, he pushed past the limits of human endurance. And then, the iconic climax. Upon reaching the central marketplace, the agora, amidst the throngs of terrified citizens, he is said to have gasped out the immortal words, "We have won," before collapsing. His mission fulfilled, his life extinguished in the very act of bearing the glorious news. It's a powerful, heart-wrenching image, a testament to ultimate sacrifice, and it was this story, this epic tale of a dying hero, that inspired the modern Olympic marathon race, first run in Athens in 1896 with its iconic, grueling distance of 42.195 kilometers. A distance specifically chosen to honor a myth. But history, my friends, is a far more complex, often messier, and infinitely more fascinating affair than the neat legends we craft to make sense of the world. The truth, or at least the earliest, most reliable recorded truth we have, presents a different narrative. One, dare I say, even more astonishing in its sheer, almost unbelievable human endurance. Our primary source for the Greco-Persian Wars, the great Greek historian Herodotus, often called the father of history, our ancient camera, capturing events as they unfolded, does indeed mention a messenger named Pheidippides. But here's the twist, the mind-bending reveal. Herodotus tells us that this Pheidippides undertook an epic, truly mind-boggling journey before the Battle of Marathon, not after. His mission? To run from Athens all the way to Sparta, a staggering 240 kilometers, that's about 150 miles, each way. Think about that for a moment. Running the equivalent of over 5 modern marathons across rugged terrain, under the scorching sun, not once, but twice, just to deliver a plea for aid. And crucially, Herodotus explicitly states that Pheidippides completed this monumental feat, delivering his urgent message to the Spartans. There is absolutely no mention in Herodotus's extensive account of a messenger dying after running from Marathon back to Athens. Not a word. So, where did the iconic story of the dying marathon runner come from? It emerges much, much later, centuries after the battle itself, in the writings of Plutarch, a Greek biographer and essayist from the 1st century CE. And even then, Plutarch attributes this heroic, fatal run from Marathon to Athens not to Pheidippides at all, but to other figures like Euclides or Chrysippus. It seems the human spirit, perhaps, needed a more immediate, more tragic, more perfect narrative to encapsulate the sheer heroism of that moment. A story of ultimate sacrifice, a single dramatic act, is often more compelling, more easily remembered, than the complex reality of multiple messengers and strategic maneuvers. What are we left with then? A very real, monumental battle, the Battle of Marathon. A decisive victory that undeniably shaped the course of Western civilization, a foundational moment for the ideals of freedom and self-determination. And alongside it, a powerful, enduring legend, a story of ultimate sacrifice, so compelling that it inspired one of the world's most grueling athletic tests. The modern marathon race, with its roots deeply entwined in this compelling legend, stands today as a profound testament, not just to the incredible endurance of the human body, pushing past every known limit, but perhaps even more so, to the enduring, almost...
Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, and ring that bell for more history daily.